Good morning, St. John's. Coming to you live from the TV4 studio. I'm Avery Green alongside EJ Zedeka. Today is a regular schedule, and these are your Wednesday morning announcements.
This year's SJJ Spring Musical, Big Fish, will be performed at the Valentine Theater in downtown Toledo this weekend. The curtains will rise at 7 p.m. Thursday through Saturday and at 2 p.m. on Sunday. Tickets can be purchased directly through the Valentine Theater box office or online at valentinetheater.com. Support the arts at SJJ and secure your seat today.
Sylvania Recreation is currently hiring for seasonal positions, including lifeguards, concessions, groundskeepers, special events, scoring, and officials. For more information or to apply online, visit playsylvania.com.
The SJJ Esports Premier Overwatch team defeated Otsego High School last night 3-0. Seamus Leonard, Jacob Kamza, Parker Morris, Gavin Fenbert, and Brendan Leonard each contributed to the win. The reserve Overwatch team defeated Northview 3-1 behind the efforts of Jed Zerwa, Evan Zerwa, Thomas Steele, Andrew Zhao, and Ethan Malone. And finally, the Premier Smash team of Lucas Dake, Kario Rodella, Orion Gonzalez, me, and Noah Bame swept Central Catholic 5-0, winning 10 of the 11 total matches. Great job, Titan Gamers.
Now to Studio C with Mr. K.
Hey, good morning, St. John's. As you all know, it is March, and March is Music in Our Schools Month. So last week we talked about rap music. Today, we're going to talk about rock and roll music. So, rock and roll music came about in the 50s and 60s in the United States, coming out of jazz, blues, and country music. And the term rock and roll existed already at that time, but it was popularized by an American DJ named Alan Freed out of Cleveland, Ohio in the early 50s. Some of the earliest artists that we would consider to be rock and roll artists would be Chuck Berry, Elvis Presley, and Bill Haley and his Comets. Now, it would be very hard to talk about rock and roll without talking about the British invasion of the 60s. British teens were exposed to American culture and music during the 40s and 50s while American troops were stationed there during World War II and just after. And they really loved the music, they loved the American counterculture and thought it really spoke to them. And so the British invasion started in 1964 when the Beatles visited America, and it kept going with groups like The Who and the Rolling Stones and Queen. And then we kept going in the 70s and 80s with what we now call classic rock with groups like Led Zeppelin and Journey. And then we get the 90s where we get grunge with groups like Nirvana, Soundgarden, Alice in Chains. And then we go into the 2000s, we get more, diverse types of rock and roll music like alt rock, indie rock, and pop punk. Some of the most well-known groups since the 2000s include groups like Fall Out Boy, My Chemical Romance, The Killers, and Greta Van Fleet. And some of my personal favorites, actually my favorite band of all time as a rock band is Rise Against. They're also, some of my favorites include The Beatles, Green Day, and Queen. So I hope you guys are looking forward to hearing some rock music between periods today. And back to the desk.
Doppler Dan.
Doppler Dan and the TV4 Weather Report.
Good morning, St. John's. It's Wednesday. You know what that means. Weather! Looking outside now, it's 31 degrees and clear. It was a little chilly walking to my car this morning, but we got there. Looking ahead at the rest of the day, look like it's going to get up to 43 degrees around 3 p.m., maybe a little bit cloudy. Snow on Friday, maybe a snow day. I'm going to go with no, though. This is man or dog. Skinwalker. And I'd like to say a very special good morning to everyone except people who aren't going to see Big Fish. Show up. Go see it. That's all I've got. Stay classy, St. John's. Back to the desk.
That's all we got for you, St. John's. Check your emails.